Hey, Academy Answers. Good morning. Welcome to the podcast. Always a pleasure to have you here. And if you're joining us for the first time, this is the podcast where we talk about happiness, success, full potential. I'm on the move as usual. Just dropped the kid to school. It's a rainy morning. How are you doing out there? Reach out to me. Many of you have reached out. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure connecting because I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you, and when I have engagement, then I'm better directed. And I know I appreciate the warm comments and the support I get from you guys. This podcast is going way over 25,000 listens in a year. I haven't done much to promote it. I seldom share it to my social media. I just do it mainly on my response to my email. I don't even blast it out to my email list. I may do some more of that this year. And then, we keep going. And this is where we discuss full potential, happiness, success, living a better life, designing and creating the life that you want. And we do that in a way, in the mode of answering questions. We answer the questions that we get and the comments, and sometimes we go random like when we did a 20 for 20, but it's always about personal development. It's always about living or creating the life you want to live. And with that, it's a nice segue to go into the question. And the question today is, I want to stop working. I don't want to work so much, and I ultimately don't want to work. I've been working for so many years. I think it's a burnout. I don't like going to a job. I don't like doing the type of work that I'm doing. Look, that is so common, and it is so sad because I think the study shows that between 87 to 92% of people of Americans say that they hate their jobs. I'm suspecting that it is not much different in most of the world, most of the modern world. Because it goes back, you can check the stats and you'll make sense of the stats when you look at, for example, the people who have graduated college. The research has shown that 85% of people who went to college to pursue a certain degree is working in an area that is not related to their degrees. It's not related to the degrees that they have. And so you find people choosing a career path and are unable to practice in that career path. I won't go into how this happened, what can be done about it, but I just kind of put that to preface the argument to show you that it's a common thing. And I never like punching a clock. I never like work per se. I like to create. And there's a different thing. There's a difference between being thrown in a system where you fulfill your role as against creating. Some people have jobs where they do get to create. Some people have jobs where they are just one part of a bigger system, and you get up every day and you fill your role, and that's it. And in most cases, something that they don't even like. They don't care about it. They're just trying to earn money. And last week we were talking about how we kind of had the wrong perspective coming out of school, and as a result, we end up with a life and a job that we don't like, or a career that we don't enjoy, that doesn't fulfill us. And then we're trying to pivot, or we're trying to settle, or we're trying to adjust down our desires and our feelings and our emotions to fit that. And because of that, we become frustrated. We're unable to scale, to go to a higher level, because we are like climbing uphill. It's like upstream. We're going upstream. It's so unnatural. It's opposite in the direction of us. And it is, as I said last week, a square peg in a round hole. You'd have to dent it, break the hole, break yourself, do all sorts of stuff. That's why we do jobs so poorly. That's why we are so unhealthy in our thoughts. That's why we're so frustrated, stressed, annoyed, short-tempered, impatient, all of that stuff. Because we're forced into something that is not us. And it doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve the companies. They find a way to get what they want out of us, so their bottom line is protected, and they use technology to shorten that, or to shore up their bottom line. But we, on the other hand, we are doing maneuvers and all type of tricks and tactics to shore up our lives, to make it work. Just do just enough to keep the job and to get the paycheck. If you want to stop work, nothing is wrong with that. And when I was coming out of 2 company failures, losing $8 million in 1 year, 2 companies failing back to back, as the purse was down, I almost lost my way. I felt like there was no meaning to life. And I felt like, it wouldn't matter if I was gone. I wasn't at the point of being suicidal, but I felt like, there's no point. I feel like, everything is just empty, and there's no better way, and life is unfair, and it is a government, and it is this bad business deal, and I messed up this, and nobody taught me this, and it's my old schooling, and it's the education system, and I had all these type of blames to go around, and I felt like it's pointless. Losing so much money, working so hard at something, and missing the mark, just waking up one day, a couple of days, within a short period of time, I'm broke. My businesses are gone. And it was hard for me. But there's one thing that saved me during that time. There's one thing that saved me during that time, and that's the advice I want to give to you. So during that time when my business failed, I was always going to the next thing. So I was finding something else that I could go at. So every morning, I'd get up early and I'd go at it. And I'd go at it all day. So I was frustrated. I was upset. I was feeling dejected. I was feeling down. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was going through anxiety attacks in the morning. But I was moving. I was acting. My default was action. My default was doing something. I get it that some people go on the couch and become a bum and give in, but my default, I was moving in spite of all these feelings. I was still going on. I was still pressing on. I was still getting things done. I was still aiming. I was still dreaming. I was still trying to do something. I'm just saying that if you want to stop working, then you may need to work more now. And work smart and more intelligent now. So break down what you're doing. Analyze it, step back from it, and start to think that what else can I do? How can I stop working? What do I need to do to stop working? What model is out there that I can follow that is in alignment with who I am, what I like, my strengths, and how are people doing it? And how can I learn from them and do it also? And when you come up with that model, it will mean that you need to put in that work. So now you plan to work more so that you can stop working. One of my first goals when I just left school, and from ever since, and I haven't managed to get to it, and it's to take a year off. When I say it, people are like, oh yeah, whatever. But I really, really just relish the thought of taking a year when I do nothing. Nothing heavy lifting. Right now I do a lot of heavy lifting, punch the clock, but no, I want to not heavy lift for a whole year. Like probably do my podcast, do my videos, write a blog, and set up income streams through those things, scale those income streams, and just leave it. Just go do my thing. Just like whatever my wife wants to do, whatever my kid wants to do, whatever my friends want to do, and just make a year go by where I already have the year's income to live, to travel, to be home, to just chill out and to just live. And usually if you're going to do that, you need about maybe 2 years income. So when you're done the year, during the other year when you are getting back together, you still have enough money. But I don't know what your family situation is. I don't know what your current financial position is. But If you feel like you don't want to work, don't let anyone judge you. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do, or whether it is bad thing, or whether it is crazy, or whether it is unambitious. If you're feeling that way, start to listen to yourself. A lot of times these things come from within us, down in our guts, what we call our intuition, our internal navigation system, and it may come up in a drastic way, or in a way that doesn't sound right, or in a way that's not the final product. But if you stop to drill a little bit down more, or to explore it some more, you start to find out that there's something there sending you a signal. Maybe it's not that you want to stop working entirely. Maybe you don't want to do that type of work. Or maybe there's something that you'd rather be doing. But start to listen to your soul. Start to analyze when you get this feeling. What about your work that you don't want to do? Is it that you don't want to work this type of work, or you want to stop working entirely? Or is it that you are another type of, your strengths are not in alignment with that type of work? So like, people have made themselves successful doing a whole line of weird things that are not traditional. What most of us do is that it is obvious. The traditional stuff are obvious. The obvious ways people make money are the obvious way people get rich. The whole traditional stuff, and everybody is just have blinkers on, and that's the only thing they see. But there's, like, for example, this lawyer couple who used to be in Wall Street, and they were unhealthy, they were overworked, they were working like just crazy hours a day, 12, 14 hours, 16 hours a day. But outside of that, when they're on vacations and stuff, what they like to do was to explore different food and types of food all over the world. So they would travel during their vacation, and they would explore different type of foods, taste, they enjoyed it, something that they liked. So they decided that, look, we're going to start a magazine. They save enough money to start this food magazine. And they retired 3 years after, and was making more money from the food magazine than both of them salary combined as lawyers on Wall Street. Okay, and now they just travel the world, compile the data, put it in a magazine, and the money comes in. So their work is not even work. It is leisure. It is getting paid for doing what you love. There's this other guy who run this, what would be, I think, is $1 million a year in blog revenue. So he's in love with Disney. So he's always been going to Disney ever since, and he started to blog about Disney. Now he has built out, over a 3-year period, a full-on Disney review site that gives you all the reviews and the information and the things to do about Disney. And it is splattered with affiliate links, and you get commission from all the link click-throughs that you do when you go on this site. $1 million a year, and he just get paid to review these things. He goes there, collect the reviews, people's opinion, research the things, inform people of what to do, when to go, which flights to get, which accommodation to get, all that stuff. And he makes a killing just doing that. There are so many different ways people are earning out there. There's this girl that I talked about a couple of years ago. She used to just leave work and go to Target and shop like crazy, buy stuff, buy unique pieces, come home, put her camera on her phone and review it. Just say, hey, look at what I got at Target today. She liked to shop. She liked to talk to people. She liked to share what she's bought with other people. And that's what she was doing. And she did that for about 2 years. She was just doing it. And she managed to amass a whole bunch of subscribers, and Target called her up and say, hey, we like what you're doing. We want to help you to do it better. So we want to give you $4,000 a month, and then we give you all the things that you want for these reviews free. There's it. She's earning $4,000 a month to just talk, just review some stuff. And then she's having affiliates commissions too from the sales that come from it. So she probably ending up in $6,000, $7,000 a month. Who knows? So I'm just saying that the traditional ways are, you're not bound to it. And I often say this, at some point in time, those who are ambitious, those who like freedom, must get to understand or must accept that there is a different life. That life exists outside of the matrix. The humdrum, regular, rush, force feed, force bathe, force out the door in the mornings, force eat, and just run that for 40 years of your life. And then you turn up old, regretful, broke. Doesn't make sense. So you don't have to buy into the retirement concept, because all that is a fluke. I've spoken about it so many times on that. There's no point in planning to live when you're almost dead. Most people live 5 years. The average years people live after they retire is 7 years. Those who are selling you retirement stuff are living their retirement now. Don't buy into that type of postponing life. If there's something that you don't like about your life, work on changing it. So if you're planning to stop working, you might need to work some more now so you can stop working for a longer time or forever down the line. But if you're getting this feeling, pay attention to it, work it through, make your plan, get a model, follow that model, and work like crazy on that model until it pops, until it scales, until you can get to live how you want to live. So you're going to live like others are not willing to live now, so that you can live like others can't later. It's a sacrifice though. It's a process. Don't expect to get it all done in a year, in 6 months, in 2 years. Like, we get into situations and our feelings pivot, but we don't want to pivot our lives to match our feelings. And because of that, most people end up starting to hate the job, and they find it disgusting, they find it terrible. Most people want to have more vacations, most people want to live a better life, most people want to get out of debt, and all those things that they want, but their actions are not in alignment with that. And they are not admitting that it took them 15, 20, 25, 30 years to get there. And it is almost it's almost impossible that you can just flip it and undo the whole bad practices and bad habits and unacceptable life that you have taken 30 years to build. You cannot undo it overnight. So accept reality. Accept that, look, where did I go wrong? And they say, as I often say, that when you fall, do not look where you fall, look where you slipped. Okay, you went to college, you choose a stupid career, you choose a good career, and the corporation just flipped itself. The market has changed. My career has been pushed and shoved in a corner more and more. This is not going well. What next? Okay, so that's what happened. I shouldn't have bought this car. I shouldn't have gotten this house. Shouldn't have done that, and a whole line of things that probably went wrong. Okay, how long is it going to take to pay off this thing? Usually I would upgrade this year. I'm not going to upgrade. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to move that out. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to I'm going to change all this stuff and give myself more resources, more time, more finances to do X. Okay, this is X. How well can I do X? Well, good enough, but I need to learn some more. And you sit out and map out an entire plan, and then you work that plan. You step back from the 30 years and you decide that, okay, from what I've learned and what I'm learning and doing this thing, it seems like 3 or 5 years can turn around this 30 years. Is that a bad plan though? No. 3 to turn around 30, that's brilliant. If you can use 3 to turn around 30, that's brilliant, because you still live the next 20 good, or the next 25, or the next 30, or the next 40, or the next 50. Really good. So why not invest, sacrifice 3, push at 3 to turn around 30? So you work for 30 hard. Can you work a little harder for 33 for the next 3, making you work for 33 in total, and then you can cruise for 30. So 30 messed up, 3 to turn it around, 30 good. Possible and doable. Believe it, start to do the work to find out what it is that you need to do. Who do you need to become to get this thing done? And throw yourself at it. Immersion. Throw your entire self at it. When you do that, that's what they call commitment. Committing to a process, throwing yourself at it, and not be distracted and decide that you will not give up until you get it done. Have a great day, guys. Always a pleasure. Reach out to me on Instagram, Knowing Motivator Car, Facebook, Knowing Motivator Car. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Take care.